J. Sims the Line, and I am back with another episode Saturday conversation here on the Book of Man with none other than Doc. And I want to welcome in all my veterans, my U.S. Marines, my Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, all my veterans, all my branches, near, far, here, and abroad. Welcome to the Book of Man. We got some veterans in the group, man. All y'all, big shout out to the veterans. We appreciate your service. What's going on, Doc? How you doing this morning, big brother?
Man, I'm glad to be here today. You know it is like wonderful, bro. Man, look, I have designated this the start of season 2.
Okay.
Season 2, episode 1.
Okay, all right.
We've been around for about a year, brother.
Yes, sir.
I checked the YouTube. We got almost 100 videos up there, close to it.
Oh man, we got a video. We got a log now. We got
a library.
Yeah, we got a library show. I'm surprised nobody ain't said we tired of seeing your face by now. But it'll be all right.
They can't, because we be talking too much of that good stuff, spitting too much knowledge, too much value.
There it
to
is.
Be ignored.
That's what we're doing. It's Saturday. We head long into November. The holiday season is getting started. You know, we already had Halloween, Thanksgiving coming, Christmas coming, New Year's coming. You done made it almost through that first semester, Doc. I know you counting the days down.
I've been counting the days down. You start the year off counting down until Thanksgiving and Christmas break.
That being said, I want to send out a shout out to all the fellas. Hey, man, ain't nothing changed. It's Christmas time coming. I hope you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead and get them gifts. Hey, go ahead and start shopping now. Go ahead and get a couple gifts now. You know how we do, especially me. The week or the 2 weeks before Christmas, you trying to get something. And she done already got your stuff. I bet you my stuff already in the closet. So we got to try to do better.
Well, we got to wait because they know we ain't gonna look. They gonna look.
Exactly.
We got
to put it somewhere.
We got to hide this stuff in somebody else's house.
For sure.
You got to hide the woman stuff at your single friend house. That ain't, you got.
Hey. Okay. I want to give a quick shout out. Our brother Paul Thompson in the house. Listen. This guy is wonderful, man. I'm glad he reached out to me. I'm glad we met. A powerful brother. I'm gonna try to get him back on the show again to try to talk about some crypto and stuff like that, some investments, and see if we can do something with the little bit or a lot of bit that we already have.
Well, the fact is, right now we need to talk to Brother Paul because the market is doing strange things right now, and intelligent conversation is much needed. I'm looking at my 401k. I'm upset.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I even need to leave my money going in there. I probably could use that money to do something else with because right now I'm losing. I'm losing a lot. I don't like it at all.
Hey, you know what I say? You don't lose until you sell it.
Well, okay. Well, I say it's trending in the wrong direction.
In the negative direction.
Negative direction. It don't feel good when I look at what I put in and what's sitting in there is less.
Oh yeah, man, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, but let's talk about some quick housekeeping things real fast. Okay, number one, if you would like to interact with us on today's show, there are a couple different ways you can do that. First way, just leave a comment below the screen that you are watching. I'll see that comment. We'll throw it up on the screen. We'll talk about it. We can converse back and forth that same way. Other way, there's a link in the description right above. If you look up there, you'll see the link. You click on it. You come on with us. You can say your piece if you got too much to type. All I ask, just turn your camera on in the beginning so I can see who you are. Once I throw you on, you can turn your camera off if you want. Either one is fine with us. We would love to hear what you got to say, especially concerning this morning's topic. Next thing, Thursdays at 7. Be here for the book study, The Way of the Superior Man. We're starting part 3, and this book is a game changer. It's something that you, as a masculine person, need in your life. It helps you to navigate and figure out what in the world is going on with your significant other, your wife, girlfriend, or whoever it is. Also on Fridays at 8 o'clock, we're doing the Nerd Show, hosted by the king of all nerds, moi. Having a good time over there, man. Y'all got to be a part of that. This is awesome, man. I'm loving it.
Yeah, we talking about it on the Nerd Show.
Coming soon. Lions Den probably gonna be on Wednesdays. And for y'all sports aficionados and people who like other stuff like that, J Sims the Lion will be in the house, and that's the place you want to go.
That's right. Speaking about the Nerd Show, that's happening today. Y'all going out check it out today or what?
Yeah, 3:30. So we'll be there, and I get the Crown Prince and figure out if he want to do something tonight, or we gonna wait until next week to avoid the spoilers.
Okay.
So it's gonna come back.
There it is.
Hey, Paul said it is, and there's an ISO 2022 starting this month, so we can definitely chop it up soon. Hey, message me or I'll message you, and we'll set something up, and we can get it going.
Yep.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, we ready, man. Let's go, man. Let's go. You
all right.
Put something up on the screen, or we just want to dive in?
All right, here we go. Kyrie in the media. Was he wrong? You saw the clip. Now, I will admit, I will put this out there. I have a surface level knowledge of what's going on. I intentionally did not dig into this to figure out who was doing what and what was happening. So I know some. So we're going to discover some stuff this morning. I'm just going to give y'all my pure thoughts. And I know Jason the Lion got a whole lot to say about it. Some may consider this subject very touchy. And if you do, I'll say we mean no offense, but we just want to say our thoughts and how we perceive the incident and how things are going.
All right, first I'm gonna open the door. I'm gonna say this. These are my thoughts and my thoughts alone. They do not, the thoughts of the Book of Man as an entity, and that of my co-host Doc. These are my thoughts. I'm gonna say some things you may or may not like. You may disagree, but we're gonna do this. If you got a problem, slide in my inbox. I'm in the port. I'm in Savannah. So if you listening from Savannah, you got issues with something I'm saying, I can pull up on you. It's no problem.
We're gonna see what's what.
We can see what's what. We can figure this thing out.
Let's go. That's the way to go.
Have a drink and chill and figure this thing out. Ain't no issue. But I'm gonna lay it out for you guys. Kyrie, I really think this really started with Kanye. I think if this wasn't happening on the back of what was going on with Kanye West, I don't think it would have been as big a deal.
Maybe. Yeah, you're probably right.
I think had quote unquote anti-Semitism, which is a whole entire another show we're not gonna get into.
Mm-hmm.
What that word really means and who really are the Semites. That's another whole topic.
Well, all right.
On the heels of Kanye West, I don't think it would have been as big a deal. But basically, the brother posted a Twitter about a documentary that referred to his name as being the same as Yahweh in another language, and the documentary had some things that people considered unwelcome, very unpolite, and made the Jewish people look unfavorable.
Right.
I personally have not watched the documentary and have not had an opportunity to. Prove or disprove the things discussed in the documentary, and it doesn't matter to me what's in the documentary as far as whether it was anti-Semitic or not. I'm simply focused on the treatment of Brother Kyrie. Now, I know he has since been reinstated back into the NBA, which I honestly wouldn't be mad if he never dribbled a basketball again in his life.
You don't have to.
I wouldn't be mad if he decided, you guys kicked me out over that. I don't ever have to do this again. And I think other brothers should walk out with him. That's just where I stand right now. Because I'm talking about what I consider the public attempt at buck breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who knows their history knows what that means. If you don't know what that means, stop what you're doing. Stop listening to me and go look it up, because you need to know what that is. And know why things in this society are the way they are. And that is a constant and ever-living part of American society.
Well, let's say this. Paul said Nick Cannon had issues for a podcast a while back. Yep, I remember that. And he had to cave in. You might have saw when I tried to share my screen, I didn't intend for it to go up, but let's look at this, because you said you haven't seen the documentary.
No, I have not.
One of my Facebook friends did. I
Okay.
cut his name out because I didn't get his permission to share this, so I'm gonna cut the name out. But let's look at what he said about what he saw. So look, man, listen. I saw the documentary and read 3 of the books that were cited in the doc, including the Bible. And there's nothing that speaks down on anybody. It's a narrated navigation of how ancient Hebrews evolved, exiled, crusaded, genetically inherited, etc., and how European Jewish came about after this fact, and later in time are borrowing and adopting the belief structure, rituals, and rites of passage of the ancient Western Asian and East African Hebrews. It doesn't say anything wrong about any Jewish people and gives a calculated reference material from biblical and other scholarly sources alike. The only other things that are up for debate are the parts that offer human opinion. Everything else is cited and taken from other written sources.
Mm.
So, like I said, I didn't watch it, you didn't watch it, but this person is a scholarly type person. I respect the things that he say, and I respect his opinion. So when he writes this, I believe him.
Right.
Um,
Hey, and I respect his opinion as well because we all have our right to it. And like I said, I've heard from different people in the media and whatnot saying, "Hey, these things were anti-Semitic. These were false, and there was, quite frankly, some false information in the documentary." Again, I haven't seen it, haven't had a chance to confirm or deny on my own, but I don't even care. I honestly do not care if the things in the documentary are anti-Semitic, only because he apologized for that, for his lack of understanding, or if he hurt anybody's feelings. I'm more concerned with how we as a people allow media to drag our brothers unchecked.
Well, let's go ahead and steer the conversation toward that part. All right, let's look at this. I'm gonna put something on the screen. Let me go ahead and share that because it's important to what we're about to talk about. So here, these are the things that the Brooklyn Nets have required Kyrie Irving to do before he can return to the team.
And
First of all,
they have since walked these back and have reinstated him. But this was initially what they, after he already apologized and they suspended him, this was the initial list of additional things they wanted him to do before he would be allowed to play again.
But I mean, they wanted him to apologize and condemn the movie,
right?
Which in his tweet, all he did was just say, "Bam!" He didn't write any context to it or anything.
Right.
Make a $500,000 donation to anti-hate causes,
which he's already done before this. He's already given a ton of money to different causes in and around New York and around the world throughout his career. This is not a. Do I like Kyrie Irving? I think he's a wonderful ball handler and one of the best below the rim scorers we've ever seen. But I'm not in particular a fan of him. I am far more a particular fan of him of the things he's done outside of basketball. Even though he said some stuff where I'm like, okay, that wasn't the smartest thing to say, he has put his money where his mouth is and been active in our community trying to help, doing things for the kids, putting kids through school, all kind of stuff like that. And I support all of that.
All right. Well, there's 2 things. Well, one, Paul said all of this over a tweet. If I'm correct, he didn't say anything.
Right, Paul?
Yeah, he didn't. So here's the question. Before we get into the treatment, because we all disagree. I mean, we all agree that what the Nets are doing is excessive.
Correct.
It is very excessive. Why should he have to, for a tweet that he did not give commentary on, why should he have to attend training, meet with Jewish leaders, come back and meet with the owner to make sure he understood what the leader said, give $500,000 and then condemn something that he didn't say any comments on? So that's not cool. That's too much.
Too much. The question was why would he have to do all that? Why all that is to know his place. We know why. They are putting him in his place, which is beneath them.
So let's all right. It's two directions I want to go, and I think I'm gonna make a note of the first one because based on that, I think we need to talk about this. Now, you said put him in his place, right?
Correct.
And you notice anytime anyone says anything that's not extremely positive about the Jewish people, now this is what it seems like to me, that they get the wrath of God on them, no matter how small it is.
Correct.
My question is, why can't we have that same energy for everybody and create a culture of respect? Because you know what? This is what gets under my skin. When it comes to black people, they allow other black people to make this music that glorifies killing each other. They put the stuff on television to kind of bend and shape. You know how they say art imitates life and life imitates art?
Right.
Well, they're making the art to where we being ratchet all the time. Everybody got to be a real housewife. Everybody got to do what they do in drill music. So why can't we have this same energy for everybody? I ain't mad at them for doing all that. I ain't mad. I just wish they would do it for everybody else.
Well, I'll pose this question then. Why is it just like you have just now what you said, you separated different sectors of our culture.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it we can't do the same thing with other people's culture? How come, for example, the company I work for is owned by a Jewish man?
Mm-hmm.
He's a good guy. He's done things to help me out. He's a good guy. He can exist simultaneously while another Jewish person ain't a good guy.
Right.
It can be a group of Jewish people over here doing good things, and we can applaud them. And then there can be a group of Jewish people over here doing bad things, and we can admonish them without it being anti-Semitic.
Right.
So the fact that just because you say anything negative about a sector of a group does not mean all of them are.
You know what? I agree. Based on the individual.
And sometimes I do not like criminal black people.
No.
We need to fix that part of our culture. They're wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
There's no need for the extra criminality.
No. And lack of morals.
Right. Same time, I must applaud those who live that way and have now chosen to do better.
Yeah. You can definitely say that.
Right. Those two things can exist. So you can say, man, I'll give you from Kanye. He can say the people, by and large, in the white Jewish media have treated black people unfairly, historically, in business, and we have suffered because of it. And at the same time say, this guy or this group of Jewish people, for example, the Holocaust Museum, throughout the world, you go to any Holocaust Museum, they generally have a section for dedicated to slavery and the African-American struggle in this country.
Mm-hmm.
That can exist at the same time.
It can.
Things, for me to say there's people in the white Jewish media that's doing things harmful to black people, it does not mean I'm anti-Semitic. That's an actual thing that's happening.
Exactly.
At the same time, I can also say it's a group of Jewish people that have built these museums that are wonderful and honorable museums, and they have been helpful to black people.
Yes. Again, it's based on the individual. So Paul said demasculization of knowledgeable black men is an issue, and nobody stands up for the black community like that. So what's equality?
100%. Well, listen. Again, that's why I said public buck breaking.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what they're doing. And if you know the real history behind buck breaking, it wasn't just whipping.
Oh no, they did a whole.
Not just whip men in front of people. That was not the only thing that happened in buck breaking.
So, yeah, it was some NSFW things.
Right.
Not safe for work.
Right. That went on. This is the same thing, saying that you have no control over what's being done to you. All you can do is take it.
Paul also said he got canceled way too much. Plus, with the propaganda, they don't show his Jewish friend coming on and backing what Kanye said.
Exactly. It did not. It's been a lot of Jewish people that have come out in this and been on the side of Kanye and on the side of Kyrie. There's a lot of Jewish people that come out and said, hey, we have had some bad dealings and we have done some things wrong and we need to atone for that. We need to fix it. And that's just what it is. But my point is, why as we as black men in large jumped up to say so much negative about what Kyrie was doing.
Yeah.
And didn't, you say something negative about a Jewish person, I don't really care what he did. They're all going to stand up for him.
That's right.
And if we don't get some of that in our system, we are going to continue to be disrespected and disregarded in this country.
And that was my question. Is this us?
Yes. In a portion of it, yes. Because it's just as many of us jumping down his throat as it is anybody else, which is insane.
You know what it sound like to me? It sounds like, because I watched some of the interviews and I know Shannon Sharp had a lot of good things to say. But they always end it like this. They said, that was stupid. You shouldn't have did that. So it sounds like to me that there is an unspoken rule that everybody knows and you know not to violate it. And he violated the unspoken rule, which is don't say anything about Jewish people.
Right.
Which he didn't say anything. And then based on the context, what I gathered of the documentary, and again, this is my own ideas, my own thoughts. I had to preface that because I don't know what they're really thinking, but to me, it seems like they don't want to be affiliated with black people.
I cannot go that far.
All right, the people that condemned, the people that made the ruckus, the people that made the fuss, because I think there is something in the community, how these people saying they're Jewish and they, not like me.
Yeah, well, first off, this goes back to what the definition of Jewish and Semite and all that are to begin. It's the reason they called Jewish and not just Jew.
Hold on. Oh boy, you know what? That's profound. That's profound.
So it's a reason that is. Do I think there is? Okay, there's a such thing as a concept called co-opt whiteness.
Okay.
Every so often, every 100 years or so, as the population of Europeans and white people and the Caucasian people goes down, they co-opt another group of people and they get included in whiteness.
Right.
For example, when the Irish and the Italian first came to this country, they weren't white. They were Irish.
That's true.
And Italian. As they noticed that the Irish and the Italian numbers were getting larger and the African American numbers were getting larger and the white numbers were going down, they co-opted the Irish and the Italian, made them white. So now the numbers of whiteness is going larger. The Jewish first came to this country, they weren't white, they were Jewish. Now, a lot of American Jews, especially the fair-skinned white ones, identify as white.
Yeah.
Or as a white Jewish, not as Jewish first.
Right.
They have white people, the Caucasians have co-opted the Jewish people as white to increase their numbers. This happens in this country. And if you pay attention, they're trying to do it to the fair-skinned, lighter-skinned people of Latin descent, and they talk about it amongst themselves. They're trying to co-opt them in the white because they have to increase their numbers because they are dying.
Yeah. Or being diluted.
Correct.
So they're being diluted.
They have to continue to increase their numbers by co-opting
watered down
groups into whiteness.
So
that's one of the major issues. But you can say you can say that there's a group of white Jewish that do not want to be associated with people of color.
And that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
You can
not all of them, because I don't know that. I don't know what they talk about, but yeah. All right, so let's look at this. So Paul said, Kyrie to me was a man who felt he needed to share something important, and he did. He possibly knew there would be consequences because of, I don't think he cared. That's a man. That's gangster.
I don't I don't think Kyrie really believed that any of the things that was said in that documentary were seriously offensive. I don't
I
think
don't think.
I don't think he's the type of guy that would have known
Mhm.
that documentary would have been considered high level offensive or truly offensive to a certain group of people and posted that. I don't think he would have.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
I don't think he's that type of guy.
no,
But
I haven't seen that. Now there are some questionable things. He kind of latch on to all these things.
right,
I know he's been a big proponent of the flat earth theory. So he's a flat earther. He's, talking about being Native American and all that stuff. And he can do all of that.
correct.
He can do all of that. And like Paul said, he saw something and said, "Ooh, well, people need to know about this." He
Right.
didn't even add extra context to it, which leads me to my next question. How much responsibility do we have in the things that we post, especially if you're famous? Do we have to take responsibility for that?
My answer to that is yes.
Mhm.
48 laws of power. Protect your reputation at all costs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So anything that reflects you, you must think about it before you share it with people. And this
Hmm.
is something I personally didn't do well. And 48 laws of power helped me understand why that was so important. I can say right now that in previous jobs, that has hurt me.
Hmm.
Not understanding and paying attention to that. But as it is right now, yeah, because social media is, although I say it's not real, the effects of it are extremely real.
Hmm.
And everything you do has meaning. And to the younger people, if it's not on social media, it didn't even happen.
That's true. That's true. And now that you say that, that's probably why they record everything. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like when they help people, they record it. When
Yeah.
they,
Because it never happened.
wow, bro, that was profound right there. You just opened up a whole nother realm of thought for me with that statement. Wow. Yes. But in terms of being responsible for what you post, I wholeheartedly agree because I have to do that. I have to do that. I can't post, all kinds of stuff
Right.
because of the positions
Status
that I hold.
in society. Your status in society says you have a responsibility. You have responsibility as to more people than just yourself.
Hmm.
And as your status or stature grows in any group, you have
Hmm.
a responsibility. We all, well, I'm gonna say we all saw 10,000 BC. You got to figure out what kind of man you're gonna be. Are you the kind of man who draws a circle around yourself and your family, or
Yeah.
do you include your cousins and your aunts and your uncles in
Hmm.
your circle, or are you the type of man whose circle includes many, many, many more?
And for me, yeah, I got a big circle.
Right.
Um, and they come in all different walks of life. They come in all different races, all of that. Um, Paul said he's careful as well. Yeah. I mean, and it's true because and we can relate this to Kyrie. It's like if you post something, then that can degrade your whole message.
Yep.
I mean, it's like everything you say after that and everything you've said before that don't even count anymore. So, with that, what do you think Kyrie should have done? Or should he just did what he did?
I have to look at it from a lot of different ways.
Mm.
Um, to have avoided all of this, the slickest thing he could have said right at the very beginning when they first asked him why he posted it, he could have said, "Oh, I haven't even watched the whole thing. I just saw one. I just saw a trailer, and it's something that had my name in it.
Hmm.
Oh, that's what it says. I didn't even know." And he could have just got out of there. He
Right.
got out of there from the jump. As soon as they brought up anti-Semitism, he could have vagued out and got out of there. Which on a personal level, for him personally, probably would have been the smartest thing he could have done.
Okay. So
go ahead, ask your question.
All right. Well, no, I'm gonna say a comment first and a question. What well, no, I said what could he have done differently? And this is what I think. And this is what I do before I post things like that. And you have to put a lot of thought into this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I would have had to say more words. If you write, I'm serious, man, you probably would have had to write a little paragraph to go with the picture. And he probably did it on the fly, but he should have wrote a little paragraph to go with it and said, this, kind of explain why he posted it. And then that would have kept the people off his back, because they would have not only just saw this picture and say, oh, well, this ain't right. They would have said, okay, well, that's why he did it. Personally, when I see things that are controversial, or, well, people don't really tag me in many stuff these days, but when I see stuff I want to comment on, I never do it right then. Like, I always have to wait like hours later or a day so I can think about what in the world to write down there to communicate the idea that I need to see, because I know a lot of people watching us. So my question to you is, what would you have done if it was you, like getting ready to post that?
Because I take a little thought when I post something, I'm always ready to stand on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably would have done something very similar to what Kyrie did, which is I posted it. It's information that I thought was good, solid information, and that's what it is. I'm at a point in my life where anything I take the time to say, post, if I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong if I find out new information. But if I truly believe I'm right, or I know I'm right, my facts are valid or sound, I'm gonna stand on it. And you got to show me where I'm wrong. And I'm open to the idea that I could be wrong. I'm open to the possibility that I could be wrong about something. But I just have no more room for anything less than standing on what I believe. I believe, for like the Book of Man, I believe we are right. This instance and do what we do here is right and good and true, and it is right and good and true for everyone. And I will stand on that. And there's nobody can move me off of that platform. I believe in it. And that's so anything that I post, especially if it's concerning dealing with the Book of Man, or anything concerning, I post about family and life and love and all that kind of stuff. I stand on it. I'm not going nowhere. And if I post something about my people, I'm standing on it.
I feel you, man.
And I just would have had to take the consequences. I have had nothing before in life, so I ain't afraid of it.
For me, this is my fatal flaw. I will apologize for things, but I don't like saying I'm sorry.
Nope.
And the reason why is I don't like begging for forgiveness. I don't like begging at all. So to avoid that, I will thoroughly research and come up with a solid position before I say things. Now, if I have to apologize if I'm wrong, I will, but I don't really like it, because you know what I say? Don't do things you will regret later. I don't like regretting things. So I make sure it's right by me the first time around. Paul said a wise man hear the whole story before he gives judgment.
Correct.
Yeah. And the whole story, Kyrie could have got the whole story.
Right. And that goes back to your point of you would have explained more. You would have given them more of the story. But I think Kyrie felt backed into a wall. He felt being questioned unfairly, unnecessary, and he decided, you know what? Whatever.
And that's pretty much where we at. Right. All right. So let's look at this thing real quick here. Hold on, let me share this, because we talked about this earlier. We'll do that in the system audio. All right. Stephen A. Smith talking about Kyrie Irving and emasculation. So let's listen.
And of Kyrie Irving. But this is excessive. The fact of the matter is that right now you're engaging in emasculation based on the reports about how the Nets have a checklist of things that they need Kyrie Irving to do. Okay, now be clear, Tim Legler. He brought it on himself. I'm fully knowledgeable about that. Him putting out a tweet, supporting a film with anti-Semitic tropes and stuff like that was inexcusable. It was insensitive. It was juvenile. It was stupid. Okay. And the kind of heat that he's brought upon himself thus far is self-inflicted and largely, if not entirely, of his own volition. So he deserves it.
Let's stop right there. Ideas, thoughts.
Okay, that's a snippet of a much larger video.
It is. Mm-hmm.
However, first off, the source, Stephen A. Smith, of these particular words, not somebody I got a lot of, not one of my favorite people in the media. He's right about the emasculation, and I feel it was a very weak move for him and the part of a lot of people to do what you said earlier, to go back to that, it was stupid. Why do we have to qualify that stuff when we defend our people?
Mm-hmm.
They are trying to emasculate. They were trying to emasculate Kyrie Irving. They were trying to publicly buck break Kyrie Irving. The end.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree.
I don't care what they did. That's it. That's all he said. Left it right there. Oh, don't make no mistake, Tim Legler. Oh, what he did was inexcusable. No, I don't care what he did. It's just like if they doing that is no different than when they kill a black man in the street and you say, well, he was a criminal. I don't care.
It ain't right.
To die like that.
Yes. And I'm going to bring this back up. He got to donate $500,000. He got to condemn a movie that, I guess he didn't watch all the way. He just shared the image of it, attend sensitivity training, attend anti-Semitic training, which nobody really knows exactly what that is. Everybody got a different definition of it. Meet with the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, Jewish leaders, and then meet with the president or the owner to demonstrate understanding. So he had to go through 6 different things.
Let me tell you what that list says. We tell you how to spend your money. Mm-hmm. We tell you who to talk to. We tell you how to think. We tell you where to go, and we want to make sure you understand. So come here and tell me, boy. That's what that list says.
I agree. That's why it's successful, especially for something I can see them, like the punishment don't fit the crime.
Right.
I can see if he was one of those people that went out there and made lives every day and actually said something, like all Jewish people are evil or something like that. And like you said earlier, that is not the case.
Nope.
And I would agree with you. That is not the case. But yeah, that is especially excessive. Now, the question is he going to, well, you said that they kind of walked back from this.
They walked back that list has been walked back, and they have reinstated Kyrie. He hasn't showed up yet. I don't know if he will. I don't care if he ever does.
So when you say the list was walked back, so did they cancel out all of it?
Hasn't had to do that stuff. They just reinstated him.
Okay. And that should have happened. He should have never been uninstated.
Right.
It's just the fact that the people that were defending him, it's like they defended him, but they still cast the blame on him. Or he was wrong.
Right.
But either he wrong or he not. And to me, I don't think he was.
They were treating Kyrie Irving unfairly. Full stop. That's that should have been the commentary from all of our black media pundits. Should have only been they're treating Kyrie Irving unfairly. Full stop.
Yeah. They don't have to say anything extra. They don't have to soften the blow.
What do people say? Say less.
That's it. Say less. That's what I think should have happened. So definitely that's a thing, man. This whole thing is unfortunate. But let me ask you this. Why do you think they walked it back?
Because people were starting to say things like what Stephen A. just said. LeBron even came out and said this is excessive. Mm-hmm. And Other people were coming out and saying this is excessive and ridiculous. And then people were starting to raise the real question, which was, if y'all so mad at Kyrie, why y'all ain't mad at Jeff Bezos and Prime and Amazon?
Yeah.
They the one who giving the video a platform. You saying Kyrie wrong, but then nobody said nothing about the people who broadcast. And once they started pointing out that, oh, you know what, we are mad at Kyrie, but we letting other folks make their money.
Yeah.
So when people started pointing it out, it was like, oh, this is we hypocrites now. So they had to back it down. So Brooklyn, the Nets had to back it down. The media's had to back down because it was starting to look real hypocritical.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, let's swing this in a different direction. How do regular people like me and you, let's say once we say something and something similar to this happens, how do we handle it? Like what do you do?
Well, again, I think the first step, what we just talked about, is making sure anything you say in a public space or on social media, whatever, you make sure you know what the hell you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have the information, have the facts and the figures behind it, so that when you're questioned, you can say, I said this because, or I believe this because everything you say today on any platform is public knowledge.
Yeah, and it doesn't go away.
Doesn't go away. And once it's out there in the world, somebody saved it. Yeah, they tried to take Kanye West Drink Champs interview down, but it's still out there. I can still go find it.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't gonna never.
Oh, they still got it.
Right. And it ain't never going away. So it's just, that's what it is. So that's the first part of it, is taking that responsibility for everything you say and whatever you post, to make sure you have good, a good standing to do so. As for us as regular people, we have to establish some kind of code of how we're going to live and how we're going to treat one another.
Yeah. Yeah.
In our community, we walk around with a lot of individualism. It's no longer a full we. The most we you'll ever see is the women and the children. A lot of times get excluded.
Yeah, you're right. It's like a collection of islands.
Right.
Archipelago. Like, okay, we kind of together and we pictured as one mass, but we really separate.
Right. Well, it's when we do positive things, we separate. When we do negative things, we together.
Yeah, and it should be the other way around.
It'll be the other way around.
It should be.
We get condemned as a group, as an individual, and as a group, and we get praised only as individuals.
Yeah, and that's sad, man. And I'm gonna agree with you. For the regular man, regular woman, regular whoever posting stuff on social media, please be aware that you have a responsibility for the things that you put out into the air. You can be judged on what you throw out there. You can be. And just because you delete it, it doesn't go away. And this is why everybody, most of these major companies have their content at a server farm. Amazon is the biggest one. So everything is saved at their server farm. It's like these underground facilities, these huge things, petabytes worth of data, thousands of petabytes. So it doesn't go away. And like I said, be careful. Do your research before. Don't be ruled by emotions, especially when you responding to stuff, because you're gonna say something you don't mean. We have to be careful these days. And the reason why is because our voices are getting louder and we have more leverage using social media and videos. So you have to be intentional about that. Now, I ain't saying, posting something funny or, giving some encouraging words. Okay, fine. But when it comes down to the real stuff, use your noggin, bro. Use your noggin.
And I that's why we do the book study. That's why we do this program, to tell men, think and know before you act. There's a lot of things in this society that are out here designed, specifically for us as Black men, to see us fall. Mm-hmm. And if we aren't careful about the things we do and say, the negative effects that can happen to us are often far more severe
Mm-hmm.
people, and we have to adjust and address ourselves accordingly.
All right, real quick. I know we're running up on an hour, but I want to something you just said sparked a new branch of ideas. And you said, you know, the things that we do can affect everything. We have to be careful of that. And the system, how it is set up to have us fail, basically.
Correct.
What are the things that you think that are out there that causes the regular man like me and you that's set up for a trap for us to fall into?
Okay. Well, first off,
Or even Kyrie.
well, no. First off, for us as a regular man, the first thing I would bring to your attention, something we've talked about, we haven't had a chance to address on the show. This might be a little bit of homework for some of y'all if y'all haven't seen it yet. There's a documentary by a brother named Speech called "The Nigga." I believe it's
Mm-hmm.
parts right now. I can personally say I was trapped in the nigga factory.
Mm-hmm.
The nigga factory is basically this country is designed through media and other things to keep the black man in adolescence to the age of 35. Meaning half your life is over and you still doing kid shit,
Yeah.
which will affect you financially.
Mm-hmm.
It will affect you emotionally, and it will affect you mentally, because you're going to wake up one morning, as I did in your mid 30s, asking yourself, what the hell have you been doing with your life?
Mm-hmm.
Because half of your stuff you're going to realize you were just going through motions.
Oh yeah.
No real purpose or intention behind the things you're doing. And you're going to get lost. You're going to realize you're lost. And it's a hard, long road to finding yourself and finding what you need in this world.
You right, man.
Yeah, I
You
walked
right.
the road, and you will lose. It's almost like building a new person. You lose
Yeah.
friends, you'll lose family, you'll lose a lot along the way in the hope. And it's all that's at the end of it is hope that you will have a new and better understanding and outlook on life that will lead you into a better future. It worked for me. I can absolutely understand how there are individuals who go to start that journey and never make it to the end
Wow. You
because
right, man.
it was hard. And that's what this country does to black men. It puts you on a journey to becoming better. When you wake up and realize you need to be on a journey to becoming better, it makes it feel like that to complete that journey is impossible, and you will lose everything you built and that you loved for the previous portion of your life. And it's like, do I want to battle and fight for the impossible or make way with the known?
Yeah, I think that everything you say is true. I mean, you can look around and see it. I mean, looking back, and if you come out of that mind state early, you don't fit. You don't fit at all anywhere because the people think you're crazy because you're not doing this or that. Um, and what I've noticed, you're right, because I watched that series of videos and we're supposed to do it. I guess we have to put it on the calendar, maybe first of the year or something like that. We can have a New Year's thing on that, start off on a good foot. Um, but the fact is that we're stuck in that and
Mm-hmm.
can't get out. And we don't, the people who stuck in it don't even know they stuck in it.
No.
You know, bro. Oh, okay. I'm gonna touch on the nerd stuff real quick, but it's related to this. Playing God of War Ragnarok. And there's one mission you got to free this huge animal that's been chained up for like eons. And Kratos said, when we free him, he's still not going to be free because he's used to being in chains.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said that, it blew my mind. So the bondage that exists is from virtual chains.
Mm-hmm.
And we done been in it so long till we just can't stop doing the same things. You know, I mean, look at some of the stuff people post and the way they talk to each other and the way that they think. It's crazy. You know, my wife was on the nerd show last night and she talked about many people don't have the same moral compass as they used to, and that is rare. and that's connected to that. Wow. But again, that's why we're doing this. We're trying to show some people that you can be free. You just change how you look at the world and how
Yep.
you interact with it.
Change how you look at yourself.
Boy, that's a big one. That's a big one.
You know, there you know, I'm a movie buff, and there are lines and things in movies that in the context of the movie mean one thing, but in the context of life, you know, they can really be big. And one of the movies I'm not a big fan of the movie, but it had a great line. Notorious B.I.G. in the movie Notorious says, "How we gonna change the world? You know, but first we got to change ourselves." And that's the truth. You have to develop yourself, you know, in something different. You cannot get a different results doing the same thing.
Same things.
Right. If the person you were today was going to accomplish what you want to accomplish, you'd already have it.
Exactly. And that's what we talk about, like how to do that. One way is, read some books.
Yeah.
But you know what I respect out of the people that attend the book study every week, people in the group, people that watch it. I've been told, one man said, I really don't read books. It takes too much time. I can't concentrate that long. But he comes in and participate with people who do read books.
Yep.
And he still get that knowledge and change himself.
And that's
do some of that.
However you acquire knowledge and information, go get it. Whether it be reading books, listen to them on Audible, listening to podcasts, whatever it takes for you to increase your mental, I don't know if the word is capacity, just your to change your mentality so that you can change your life. Go do it, because this system of government and system of oppression that exists in this country is designed to keep you in a permanent state of fuckery. That's just bottom line of it.
And honestly, I would think it's connected to money. Everything is connected to money, because if they can keep the sheep appeased, then they can keep getting money from them.
That's
They
correct.
can just keep doing it. They keep spending money on these expensive things, and they think what's good is bad, and then they can make even more money.
Yep.
I mean, it's crazy. And then once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Nope.
So maybe that got to be one of our things we can put. Yeah, definitely we're gonna add this to the thing. All right, bro. So we rolled on up on that hour, man. So any last thoughts about Kyrie and the media? Was he wrong? Well, oh, hold on. We got this. So, Fritz, what I have learned is that not everyone sees what I see because of my experiences. And so I offer my experiences not to think like me, but to experience something you might not ever have.
We need more of that.
All day long.
That's called mentoring. That's what that is. When you take what you learn and you share it with somebody else, not to do what you tell them to do, but to give them different ideas and concepts so they can do better for themselves.
There you go. That's why we're doing what we do.
And we need more of that. We need more of that amongst ourselves. We need more black men coming back and reaching that hand out to younger black men and pulling them along. And we've got to get rid of these back and forth bull between black men, back and forth bull between black men and black women. It's unnecessary, and it's a negative effect on our people and our culture. And I hope I can do my small portion to make it better.
We got it, man. So, all right, for real this time. Last thoughts. Now I'm gonna say a little something, then I'm gonna toss it back to you to take us to the house.
All right. Go ahead.
What you let? Oh, well, okay. I'm gonna go first then. No, let me go. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna play the music, and then you can take us home at the end. So the last voice you hear will be from Jay Sims the Lion. Ain't like I'm in church or something, but all right. This has been the new state of the world, and people are having voices and they have language to put to the things that they see, and they think that's just not right. Um, what they put Kyrie Irving through was not right. The fact of they took a small thing that he posted, a image, and blew it up into a worldwide story to make him pay is crazy to me. And the fact is, the second half of the conversation, you might have thought that that wasn't on the topic, but it is, because the people who were condemning him lack knowledge. They didn't even know, okay, I need to look at this more. Or they're like, oh, well, you know the unspoken rule, you need to follow it. So we got to get better on that. And we got to be able to stand beside the people who doing the right thing. If they're doing something that's right and not something that's deadly wrong, you can say, you know what, that's not right. And just add your voice to the many. And the many voices become loud. That's why he don't have to do all of those 6 things on that list. So with that, man, just educate yourself, try to be better, and get better. All right, Jay, go ahead.
I'm gonna say this about today's topic. We as Black people and Black men especially got to stick together, one another. Our problems, we can handle our problems in house. It ain't for the world, it's for us. On that note, what I'm gonna say on that, as far as the Book of Man, man, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all joining us. We'll see y'all Thursday on the book study. We'll be back here on Saturday. Thank you. We love you. We out.